Welcome back to Drawing Things That I'm Bad At, a series I created to stop avoiding my responsibilities and to build my visual library as an artist. So, this is something I've been doing, and it's something that I hate and love doing at the same time. So, basically, I just take any topic that I try to avoid and I draw it, as simple as that. And as I said, it's a way of making sure I don't avoid my responsibilities as an artist. This time round, we're drawing storefronts, and this idea came up to me knowing very well this year I had written I'm gonna get better at background design, which I have not. I have not been practicing. I have not been drawing backgrounds. I've just been doing portraits most of the time, honestly, because I feel like that's what I'm slowly getting used to. That's what I'm slowly doing and posting. But y'all, let's be honest here, backgrounds do help tell a story. In my case, especially, I do want to include backgrounds in what I'm doing and drawing, but I'm very slow at them. And I'm slow at them because I haven't practiced enough of them. So it's like my brain is just operating at a much slower pace versus me drawing portraits. So yeah. So the whole storefronts in specifically came about because I just love storefronts, and there's a book called Tokyo Storefronts by a very well-known background artist, and he also makes YouTube videos, and he also has a really good Instagram, and he's also a watercolor artist. And I felt like this is my way to also do that, because I find it very fascinating, interesting, and especially fun. That's how I felt the entire time. So when I approached this drawing on canvas, I wanted to make how I did my drawing things I'm bad at side profiles approach video, which that one was quite a bit different, because that one I did use a ton of references from other artists, so it was kind of like a master study. But in this one instead, what I decided to do was sketch it out. It is a technique that so many concept artists, visual development artists use before they jump into an illustration. And I was like, okay, this is new to me. I don't know anything about backgrounds or background design, so let me try the approach that has been working for other artists. And that's what exactly I did. And I feel like it kind of worked out. So I started by obviously building my references, something that I will preach day by day. If you're a newer artist and you don't have a developed visual library where you can just pull out the images from your mind, you gotta use your references. So I made references using my favorite software, pureref. It is an amazing software. Go donate to them. They're wonderful and amazing for letting us use their software. I don't know why that sounds so sponsored. It's not. Okay, maybe yes, I'm sponsoring them for free. I'm endorsing them. But yeah, and I gathered my references and I just started sketching out all of the drawings. And at first, I really liked the first run, but I felt like the first run was it came about much easier as compared to the rest, just because there's a lot of symmetry going on. It was very symmetrical. I used the symmetry tool because I'm a digital artist. You gotta use your tools. Don't let people shame you for using the tools that are on your digital app. So if you know you're gonna draw something that's symmetrical, grab that symmetry tool and use it. But this is just a composition tip. You can start symmetrical, but then later on break the symmetry by having a foreground object. And that's how this picture and photograph was taken, where everything was symmetrical, but then there's a lamp in the middle that was breaking the symmetry of it all. So if you're trying to use a symmetry tool, but you're scared that it will break the composition or it will make it less interesting, that's a little tip on how to make it more interesting. It's something I'm learning as I draw more references, because yeah, we're sharing all the tips here. And then I went to the second and third one, which were like a different perspective. It was more like you could notice it was more on that 2-point perspective. And I found it quite interesting, and I like the shapes. I like how everything pulled out of the scene, if you know what I mean. Like, I liked how it felt like kind of three-dimensional, much more three-dimensional than the first one. And then going to the third sketch, I was tired. Like, yo, let me be honest. When you're drawing something you're not used to, in the middle of it, you do get very tired. Like, your brain is exhausted, and your brain is the one controlling your hands. So your hands eventually like kind of start giving up on the drawing itself. And I was really excited to draw it, but I was like, there's so many lines in this. There's like a line there, line there, line there, line there. There were so many lines on like that reference, and I was like, how am I gonna simplify all this? And it was like, it felt like my like approach to simplification would have ruined the entire piece. So I just decided to sketch it out a bit more just to flesh out the idea. And then it came up between picking number 1 or number 2, because I felt like I liked the both of them enough, but I wasn't sure which one I wanted to like go into with like more of an illustrative approach, right? Color it a bit and like do some cell shading to it, just to give it some more of that shape and form. And surprisingly, I did end up going with the first one. Just because I don't know, the second one was like pretty good, the reference was good, I could see the vision in it, but like I like the first one a bit more, just because I felt like it gave me the challenge of creating form on like a flatter piece. And this is not going to be everyone's approach to like choosing what to draw. I know there are people who would immediately have gone to the more like 3-dimensional 2-point perspective just because it's more interesting. But I was like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself, and at the same time I'm not going to challenge myself. So I was challenging myself in the aspect of how can I make this more interesting by using colors and the shapes of those colors and finding different textures on how to do that. So I was like, okay, this is not interesting, but I'll make it interesting. But at the same time, I knew it was much easier because it was symmetrical, so it wasn't like I was abiding by so many laws of perspective. Yeah, those are a lot of words that have just come out of my mouth. Like, I don't know where that all came from, but I guess it's how I think as an artist, I guess. It's like the thought process that goes into my art, and I've never known that I think that hard. Oh wow, you learn new things about yourself as you're studying art. So I took my first reference. I was pretty excited. I watched some videos on Mateo's, I guess it's called that, Mateo's videos on how he does his Tokyo storefronts and how he applies like watercolor to them. And I kind of like kept in mind some of like the techniques I saw on him. Like, obviously I was like struggling a bit with like coloring everything in. It was much of a struggle because like I'm not used to this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm used to my silly little fun portraits. I got draw cute lips and a cute nose and a cute mouth and a cute eyes and like some flowy wavy hair or like braids, like, yeah. So this was all very new to me, and I just found it interesting. So yeah, so like coming out of all that like portraits to like hardcore background design is it was interesting. It did like turn out a bit better than I expected. It didn't turn out the best, but it was better than how I began. And hopefully the series will be pushing me to do more environment and background studies, because y'all, I need to be telling more stories with backgrounds. Like, that's like what I'm hoping to achieve in all of this. Yes. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoyed me just like struggling. Like, y'all, it's so hard sometimes, especially when it's like a subject, like it's very hard on you. But I hope you all enjoyed me suffering through this. I really enjoyed the love and support that I receive here. And I hope y'all check out the next drawing things I'm bad at. And see you in the next one. Bye.